Okay, so thank you guys for staying with me. We've started the circulatory system, and we have got the circulatory the upper, the cranial veins so far. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Right here, if you're using the board, what would this be? It starts with an A. So azygos vein. Do you see what I'm saying? Remember, just before it gets into the right atrium, right? So there's the azygos vein. You see it's right close to the, you see what I'm saying? So this is the azygos vein. And what is this? This one would be the superior vena cava. Remember, this time I want you to be specific, because I could point to this and I'm like, what is this? This one would be the inferior vena cava. So this time I want you to be very specific, because I'll be pointing to it. This will be the superior vena cava. This will be the inferior vena cava. You're going to see it's going below the heart. It's going towards the diaphragm to go through the a hole called the cava. Okay, and you can even see the phrenic nerve going alongside it as well, on either side of it to innervate the diaphragm, right? And then this one, what will this be? Remember, that's the way I drew it on the board. This one could be the internal mammary vein. See, like I drew it up there, because mine is a 2D diagram. And then you don't see the other bits that are, you see over here. So that's the internal mammary. So some of the things went over there on the deal. Okay, so superior vena cava, azygos vein. Okay, let's do this. Put it to zoom. Azygos vein, superior vena cava, internal thoracic or internal mammary vein, and it's all on the list. So you should be looking at the list and making sure that you're able to identify all the blood vessels listed there. You see what I'm saying? And then what is this? The branches that meet to form the superior vena cava. What is this? Brachiocephalic vein. Brachiocephalic vein. And you see, it's like mirror images of each other. You know what I'm saying? So there's the brachiocephalic vein. And then what is this one here? External. So this one, you see the big fat one would be the external jugular vein. You see what I'm saying? So there's the external jugular vein. Usually, if we are lucky, the internal jugular vein is infused, but this one, you see how thin it is, but it didn't get well infused, so there'll be the internal jugular vein. But not to worry, I took some excellent pictures from before where the internal jugular vein was nice and big, so you couldn't miss it a mile away. And you could see the external jugular vein on either side, nicely infused as well. Okay, my good friends? And it doesn't look like, the transverse scapular vein, which is this, got infused. Do you see what I'm saying? You see, it's still red. You see, the transverse scapular vein didn't get quite infused right here. Okay? But you meet different things, all the time. So there's that. Okay? Do you see how it's getting infused, and then the infusion is fading? It's fading a little. Okay, so this side looks like it's better. How we didn't really dissect these for that. Okay. See, there's our little epitrochlearis, and do you see now what I'm doing, my good friends? You see what I'm saying? Because this is why when I was dissecting for the respiratory system, I was trying to also expose the veins as much as possible. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, so in the exam, do you see what I'm saying, my good friends? And so the artery is kind of infused. You see, it's always a neurovascular bundle. You see, you would always have a nerve going there. So this is obviously part of the brachial plexus, and then you have the artery part of it and the vein part of it. You always find those three together. Okay, so most of the time you see these white sort of connective tissue structures wrapping around the blood vessels. You couldn't see the arteries, remember? So now you could see the arteries nice and proper. Bing, bang, bing, bang, bing, bang, bing. And then we will do these later on. You understand? Okay, very good. So there's the scapula right there. There's the scapula. Okay. You could see this thing is kind of sort of on the top though. Sometimes it's supplied by multiple branches, but you could see here. I drew mine going down. Okay. Sometimes you do see that, but this time it kind of goes on the top like that. So do you see what I'm saying? So there is the brachiocephalic vein, and then this one would be the brachiocephalic vein splits into this external jugular vein, right? And then this one would be the, starts with an S, subclavian vein. So up to here, then it splits into this one. You see, this one is going into this, supplying this. Do you see it, my good friends? You see this one? It's kind of going down here, this one. So this would be the subscapular vein. Okay, I drew mine going down, but you could obviously see that this is the scapula. There's the scapula, and this muscle is going there. It's going to the scapula. This one is shooting straight to the upper limb, to the leg. Well, forelimb in this case. Upper limb would be us. Okay, my good friends. So after this would be the axillary vein. Do you see what I'm saying? Axillary vein. And this is the subscapular vein. Okay, axillary vein. Let me get this out of here. Oh my God, it's peeling. Oh, crappity crap. Anyway, we don't need the muscular system anymore, okay? Because we're done with that. Where's my little trash? Okay, my good friends. So now in the exam, you will see nicely like this, right? See, there's our leg pit, armpit, correct? So we got axillary vein up to here. So I'll put this picture, this arrow, obviously after this. So then what would this be? Brachial vein. You must always complete with either vein or artery. And all the blue would be veins. All the yellow, still veins, but they're special portal blood vessels. Over here, you find them only in the digestive, in the abdomen, okay? Because they're shunting blood from the intestines and so forth and taking it to the liver first. But they were not well infused yet, so hopefully we'll be able to see something. But anyway, but they're still veins. Okay, so when you see yellow, you end with vein. When you see blue, you end with vein. When you see red, you end with artery. Okay, like I said in the exam, I'm not going to split it into the cranial veins and cranial arteries. I'll just point to the red, point to the blue, and you just have to identify. Like, that's why you have to say vein or artery. If you just give the name but don't qualify it with artery or vein, then you get half a point, right? If your name was correct. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So you want to get full points. You don't want to lose points unnecessarily. Okay, do you see what I'm saying? So the brachial then comes here and then does this thing, but we're just going to end at the brachial. Okay, all right. I haven't done the arteries, so I'm kind of ignoring them for now because I'm going to try and do the diagram as well and then come back. We still got time. So this is the external jugular vein. We were lucky that this internal jugular vein got infused a little bit and then quit. So when they try to infuse, sometimes they end up over infusing because but it's just a sweet spot where some of the smaller blood vessels, when you're infusing them, they don't blow up because it's too much. But so sometimes the smaller ones end up with too little. It's slightly smaller, but anyway, so this is the internal jugular vein. This on this side, it wasn't even infused, it didn't even go. Okay, so there's that. Okay, and then like I say, here you would see the so this would be it right here, where you would have the transverse scapular vein, but you don't see it, it's not, but definitely external jugular vein, and then what would this be? The one that goes across like that. Transverse jugular vein. All right. And then what is this? What, this one? Yeah, this one. Is it the face? It's going towards
the anterior facial vein.
Facial vein, anterior facial vein, and then this one here. Posterior facial vein. Okay, you understand? So most of these are coming. So yeah. And so basically that's if you're looking on the list, I don't think there's one that we left here. Okay, so this side is actually better because this one, the infusion is not so good. Okay, I'll put some alcohol at the end.